I always thought marriages ended with drama, explosive fights, betrayals, some Netflix-worthy twist where someone throws a ring into the ocean or smashes a wedding photo against a wall. Turns out mine fell apart because my wife started talking to me like I was an employee in a performance review, the kind where they've already decided to let you go, but HR requires them to document everything first. Looking back, the warning signs weren't subtle at all, painfully obvious, actually. The kind of signs that make you wonder if you need glasses or just common sense. If there'd been a scoreboard floating above us like in a video game, it would have read, wife, emotionally checked out, connection severed, running on autopilot. Husband, still trying to troubleshoot the relationship like a confused IT guy who keeps turning it off and on again, hoping something will magically fix itself. It started small, the way most disasters do. She began coming home late. Not fashionably late, suspiciously late. Then her responses turned robotic, like I was a spam call she couldn't quite block. She wasn't mad. She wasn't sad. She was empty, like she'd swapped herself out for a discount clone that skipped most of the assembly instructions. The emotional version shipped separately, and it never arrived. I'd catch her staring at nothing, her coffee going cold in her hands, her eyes somewhere I couldn't reach. When I asked what she was thinking about, she'd snap back to reality with a forced smile and say, "Nothing important. Nothing important." That phrase became her mantra. Then came the girls' nights. First once a week, which seemed reasonable. Then twice. Then 3 times. Then 4. I started mentally cataloging them like a scientist documenting a new phenomenon. Monday girls' night. Wednesday girls' night. Friday girls' night. Sunday surprise. Another girls' night. At some point, I wondered if the girls were actually a support group for women trying to avoid their husbands, or maybe a cult. Either seemed plausible. One night, using my calmest, most neutral husband voice, the one I reserved for when I was actually screaming inside, I asked, "Who are you going out with?" She shrugged, not even looking up from her phone. "The girls." "What girls?" "You don't know them." "Fantastic." A whole new imaginary cast appeared in our marriage. Right around the same time, she bought a new perfume. A strong one. The kind that announces itself 10 minutes before the person enters the room, lingers in the hallway like a ghost, and makes you wonder if you're living with someone or a walking Sephora store. Definitely not her usual scent. Her usual was soft, subtle, the kind you noticed when you leaned in close. This new one. This was a statement. A declaration. A flag planted in territory I didn't recognize. When I asked about it, she said it was on sale. Because nothing says sale like a luxury bottle that costs more than my monthly car insurance, comes in packaging that looks like it belongs in a museum, and has a French name I can't pronounce without sounding like I'm having a medical emergency. I checked online later, just out of curiosity, not paranoia. The perfume retailed for $340. The sale she mentioned didn't exist. I scrolled through every department store website, every discount retailer. Nothing. No sale. No promotion. Just full price and a growing pit in my stomach. Her phone also became her emotional support animal. Bedroom. Bathroom. Kitchen. Shower. Yes, the shower. She'd blast music loud enough to mask the sound of typing, the bass vibrating through the walls like she was hosting a private concert for one. Totally normal. Absolutely nothing suspicious about showering with your phone on full volume while frantically texting someone you refused to name. Sometimes I'd stand outside the bathroom door, listening to the muffled tapping beneath the music, wondering when my marriage became a detective show where I was both the investigator and the victim. I joked once, trying to lighten the mood. "Are you texting the Pentagon in there? Planning a military coup? Should I be worried about national security?" She didn't laugh. Didn't even crack a smile. Just locked the screen and placed the phone face down, like a witness she needed to silence before it testified against her. The face-down phone became her signature move. Every surface in our house had a phone-shaped outline where hers had been placed screen down. Kitchen counter, face down. Coffee table, face down. Nightstand, face down. It was like she was trying to suffocate it. One evening, a random Tuesday night when she'd just gotten home, I noticed everything at once. Hair flawless, not a strand out of place despite allegedly spending hours with friends. Makeup perfect, professionally applied, the kind that takes planning and a steady hand. And that perfume, she reeked of it like she'd bathed in the entire bottle, then rolled around in the box it came in. She opened the fridge, grabbed sparkling water with one hand, and started texting someone with the other. smiling that smile. The real one. The one I used to receive. I hadn't seen that smile in weeks. Not since she found $20 in an old coat pocket and did a little victory dance in the hallway. Trying to be a functional spouse, trying to keep some semblance of normalcy alive, I asked, "What time will you be back tomorrow?" No response. Fingers flying across the screen, like she was composing a symphony. I tried again, louder this time. "Hey, I'm serious. What time?" She paused for half a second, sighed like I'd interrupted her Nobel Prize acceptance speech, and said it. "I don't answer to you." Sharp, clean, rehearsed, like she'd been practicing it in the mirror. My brain actually stalled, like a computer trying to process corrupted data. "You what?" She rolled her eyes so hard she probably saw her childhood memories flash before her. "I said," she repeated, now with added attitude and a tone that could strip paint, "I don't answer to you." I stood there gripping a wooden spoon like an idiot, because of course I was cooking dinner while she prepared to deliver her Declaration of Independence, wondering when my marriage had turned into a customer service chat where I was the annoying customer who kept asking reasonable questions. That's when I knew something was seriously wrong. Not suspicion wrong. Not gut feeling wrong. Capital W wrong. The kind that changes everything. The funniest part? After delivering her corporate empowerment slogan, like she was keynoting a conference on how to emotionally abandon your spouse, she walked past me, grabbed her designer bag, also new, also expensive, also unexplained, and said, "Don't wait up." No anger. No emotion. No guilt. Just done. Like she'd clocked out of her shift as my wife and was heading to her second job. Professional mystery woman, specializing in vague answers and emotional unavailability. The door closed behind her with a soft click. I stood alone in the kitchen, still holding that stupid spoon I didn't need, staring at the empty space she left behind, thinking, wow. So this is how people become alcoholics. The silence was deafening. The kind that makes you hear your own heartbeat and question every life choice that led you to this moment. I didn't drink that night, though. Someone had to stay sober in this relationship, and apparently I'd been elected by default. The following days were a masterclass in how to lose your husband in 10 steps, sponsored by her friends and produced by a woman who'd apparently discovered self-help books and decided to weaponize every chapter. Suddenly she had opinions she'd never expressed before, boundaries she'd never mentioned, needs I'd apparently been violating for years without knowing. It was like living with a stranger who'd studied my wife's mannerisms but missed all the important details. One night she casually announced, dropping it into conversation like she was mentioning the weather, "My therapist says I need space." Therapist? Since when? We'd never discussed therapy. Never had that conversation. I would have remembered, I would have supported it even. But this? This was news. She hesitated, just half a second, barely noticeable, but I caught it, then confidently lied. "I just started. It's new. Very helpful." I just smiled and said, "Interesting. Good for you. Therapy is important." The next day, I did something I'm not proud of. I checked our insurance. No therapist appointments. No claims. No referrals. Nothing. Either she was paying cash, unlikely given our joint account showed no mysterious withdrawals for therapy sessions, or the therapist was fictional. I was betting on fictional. That Friday brought another girls' night. At this point, girls' night needed a punch card. By 9, get the 10th emotional abandonment free. She was getting ready with full glam. Curled hair that took an hour, razor-sharp eyeliner that could cut glass, perfume sprayed like she was sanitizing an entire continent against my presence. I stood in the doorway, watching her transform. Another girls' night? No response. She was too busy practicing her bored look in the mirror, perfecting the art of seeming unaffected. Finally she turned, mascara wand still in hand. "Why do you say it like that?" "Like what?" "Like you don't believe me. You've gone out 4 times this week." "It's not 4. Defensive. Immediate." "It is." I checked the calendar. Because I had. Because I'd started documenting everything like a lawyer building a case. "You're counting?" She said it like I'd committed a crime. "No. Math is just happening to me. Numbers exist independently of my desires." She stormed toward the door, grabbing her purse with unnecessary force. "You need therapy," which is usually what people say when they're doing something they shouldn't and need to redirect attention. She came home at 2:50 a.m. I know because instinct made me check my phone when I heard the door. She tiptoed through the house like I was asleep. I wasn't. I'd been lying in the dark for hours, staring at the ceiling, connecting dots I didn't want to connect. She smelled like wine. And something else. Something I couldn't quite place, but didn't like. "Everything okay?" I asked quietly from the bed. No reply. She turned off the hallway light, slipped under the covers without touching me. "Good night." It wasn't. That was the night I started paying attention. Really paying attention. Not just noticing, documenting. The next morning she was cheerful. Too cheerful. The kind of cheerful that raises immediate red flags because it's so dramatically different from her recent baseline of cold indifference. Coffee made, not just made, but perfectly prepared with the exact amount of cream I liked, something she hadn't bothered with in months. Humming, actually humming some tune I didn't recognize, something light and carefree. She complimented the dog, bending down to scratch behind his ears and baby talking to him like they were old friends, even though she'd been ignoring him for weeks. Then she smiled at me, something she hadn't done since the cat video era, back when we still laughed at stupid things together and felt like a team. The whole performance was so theatrical, so obviously manufactured, that I felt like I was watching a play where the actor had forgotten they were supposed to be playing a character in a crumbling marriage. Naturally, I asked, "Why are you in such a good mood?" She froze mid-hum, her hand suspended over the coffee pot. "I'm not allowed to be happy?" "I didn't say that. I just asked why." It's a reasonable question given the past few months. Her expression shifted, from fake cheerful to genuine irritation. She walked away without answering, her footsteps heavy with indignation. One night, as she applied lipstick like she was attending the Grammys, the expensive kind that claims to last through meals, kisses, and apparently entire secret relationships, I asked, "Can I meet these girls sometime?" She froze mid-stroke, the lipstick hovering millimeters from her mouth. "Why would you want to?" "To confirm they exist. To put faces to the names I keep hearing. To feel like I'm part of your life instead of an obstacle you schedule around." She spun around like I'd insulted her ancestors, her entire bloodline, and possibly her future grandchildren. "You're ridiculous." "Maybe. But I'd still like to know who you're with 3 nights a week minimum." "For last week. 5 the week before if we're counting." She snapped, her voice rising with manufactured outrage. "My friends think you're controlling." "Oh, those friends?" "The invisible ones I've never met, whose names change depending on the day, who conveniently never want to include the husband in any group activities. They say you're too anxious, that you have trust issues, that you need to work on yourself." I laughed. Actually laughed, not a happy laugh, but the kind that escapes when absurdity reaches critical mass. "So people I've never met, whose existence I can't verify, are diagnosing me with mental health issues?" "Yes," she said, arms crossed, chin lifted in defiance. "And you need to relax." I roll. Skull deep. The kind that involves her entire upper body. Friends say became her favorite weapon after that. Friends say she deserves freedom. Friends say she should put herself first. Friends say we're too different. Friends say marriage is a partnership, not a prison. Friends say she's been sacrificing too much. At one point, I genuinely wondered if she'd joined a motivational cult. The kind with weekend retreats and empowerment seminars where they teach you to gaslight your spouse while calling it self-care. Then one Friday, a night that would have been unremarkable if not for one detail, she came home wearing a nicer outfit than the one she left in. Not similar. Not the same style. Completely different. She'd left wearing jeans and a casual sweater. She came home in a dress. A nice dress. The kind with a designer label that I'd definitely never seen in our closet, and I'd been doing laundry for years, so I knew our closet intimately. "Nice dress," I said carefully, keeping my tone neutral. "Didn't see that earlier." Pause. That tell again. That microsecond of processing before the lie comes. "I changed at Emily's." "That's weird, but okay." I decided to let it sit there. See if she'd elaborate. She didn't. "You brought a dress to Emily's house?" "I keep clothes there. For emergencies." Her tone suggested this was perfectly normal, that every married woman maintains a secret wardrobe at various friends' houses. "What kind of emergencies require a cocktail dress?" "You're exhausting." Her go-to dismissal. The verbal equivalent of hanging up. Bathroom door slammed. Lock clicked. That lock had been getting a serious workout lately. I'd heard it so many times I could probably identify it in a lineup of door locks. The next morning, doing laundry. Yes, I do laundry. I've been doing laundry our entire marriage. It's not a heroic act. I noticed her sweater smelled like cologne. Not mine. I know what mine smells like. Not hers. She didn't wear cologne. A very male cologne. The expensive kind. Woody. Sophisticated. The kind men wear when they're trying to impress someone. Well, I thought, holding the sweater up to my nose one more time to confirm I wasn't imagining it, that's unfortunate. Whose cologne is on your sweater? I asked casually later, holding it up like evidence in a courtroom. No shock. No surprise. Just irritation that I'd noticed. Someone at the bar probably bumped into me. So they hugged you? No. Why would you assume that? Because fabric doesn't absorb scent through telepathy. It requires contact. Prolonged contact. The kind you get from a hug or standing very close to someone for an extended period. You're paranoid. You keep labeling me, I said, measuring each word carefully. Paranoid. Controlling. Anxious. Exhausting. But you never actually answer the question. She walked away. Conversation over. Trial adjourned. Her phone buzzed 3 times in rapid succession. She grabbed it like a live grenade about to explode. Secret mission? I joked, trying to inject some levity into the tension. None of your business. That line replaced, I don't answer to you, as her new favorite phrase. She rotated them depending on her mood. Later that night, around 11 p.m., I heard whispering in the hallway. Not talking, whispering. That deliberate, hushed tone people use when they're discussing something they don't want overheard. Back and forth. Question and response. Soft laughter. I opened the bedroom door. Everything okay? She jumped like I'd caught her stealing organs for the black market. Can you not sneak up on me? I literally just opened the door. From inside our bedroom. Where I live. She immediately shoved her phone into her pocket, like it contained classified government secrets. I'm talking to Megan. She's upset. Of course, I replied. The fully licensed therapist who only communicates after midnight and apparently requires emergency counseling sessions in our hallway. She shot me a glare that could melt steel. You're not funny. I am, I corrected her calmly. You just canceled your subscription to my humor. Probably around the same time you canceled your subscription to this marriage. A week later came the Thursday that blew everything open. The day the theory became fact. At 6:17 p.m., she texted. Going out with the girls tonight. Don't wait up. The usual script. The standard notification. I replied, which girls? She left me on read, like I was an outdated software update. Not even the courtesy of typing bubbles. An hour later, I was scrolling on my phone, not really looking for anything specific, just passing time and trying not to think about where my wife actually was. Then something jolted me upright. Emily, one of the few friends of hers I actually knew, had actually met, could actually verify existed, had posted a story on Instagram. Popcorn in oversized buckets. Soda cups. The whole group laughing into the camera, making faces, clearly at a movie theater. Everyone was there. Sarah, Jessica, Rachel, the whole crew, except my wife. I watched it again, then paused it like a detective trying to spot a shadow in the background, a reflection in a mirror, any evidence she was there. Nothing. So I messaged Emily. Hey, is Anna with you? No response. That alone was strange. Emily usually replied faster than an automatic chatbot. She was one of those people whose phone was permanently attached to her hand. 10 minutes later, I tried again. She said she was with you guys. Still nothing. That silence spoke louder than any answer. Emily wasn't ignoring me because she was busy. She was ignoring me because she didn't know how to lie for my wife. I leaned back on the couch and exhaled slowly, feeling my heartbeat in my throat. Okay. If she was lying, I wanted to see how deep it went. How elaborate the deception was. I opened my bank app. Not glamorous, but very effective. We had a joint account. Shared finances. Complete transparency, or so I'd thought. There it was, a charge at a high-end rooftop lounge across town. The kind of place where drinks cost more than my haircut, and I don't go cheap on haircuts. The kind of place with a dress code, velvet ropes, and a waiting list. Not a movie theater. Not Emily's house. Not anywhere she'd said she'd be. Timestamp, 7:52 p.m. Right when the movie supposedly started. Then I checked Uber. We shared an Uber account too. Family plan. 7:23 p.m. A ride to an address I didn't recognize. Not Emily's. Not any friends I knew. I copied the address and pasted it into Google Maps. Just a place. An apartment building. Upscale. Modern. The kind with a doorman and monthly fees that exceed most mortgages. The kind that makes your stomach quietly drop and your hands go cold. I called her. No answer. Straight to voicemail after one ring. Called again. Same result. The phone was either off or she'd declined it. Twice. Interesting, considering she always picked up instantly for Emily. For her mom. For literally anyone except me. So I did something new. Something I never thought I'd do. I put on my shoes, grabbed my keys, wallet, and phone, and left. No yelling. No accusations. No dramatic build-up. No warning text saying, "I know where you are." Just calm certainty and a quiet drive across town. The lounge was in one of those districts where every guy looks the same modern haircut with the sides faded, same tight-fitting shirt showing off gym results, same overconfidence that comes from never being told no. I parked a block away, not directly in front. Some instinct told me to maintain distance, to stay unnoticed. I walked toward the entrance, pretending to scroll on my phone like I was checking directions. My heart was racing, pounding in my ears, but my head was eerily calm. The kind of calm you feel right before bad news becomes official. The calm of inevitability. The entrance had those heavy glass doors with gold handles. Warm light spilled onto the sidewalk. Music thumped from inside, something bass-heavy and modern. Then the door opened. A man stepped out first, tall, easily over 6 feet. Polished. Hair perfectly styled. Wearing the confidence of someone who's never had consequences, never been rejected, never had to work hard for anything. And behind him, my wife. Smiling. Glowing. Not the tired half-smile she gave me at home when I asked about her day. Not the polite smile she used when I tried to make conversation. This was real. Genuine. The kind of smile that reaches your eyes and lights up your entire face. She touched his arm casually, naturally, like it wasn't the first time. Like they had history. Like they had inside jokes and shared moments I knew nothing about. She held her phone angled inward, screen against her body, as if even the wallpaper could expose her. I stepped back behind a parked car. Not hiding. Just not participating. Just observing from a safe distance. She said something I couldn't hear. He laughed, a big, genuine laugh, and leaned closer into her personal space. She tilted her head the way she used to tilt it with me, before I became tech support instead of a husband. Before I became the obstacle between her and whatever this was. I took out my phone. One photo. Clear shot of both of them. Then another from a slightly different angle. Then a short video, 10 seconds. Enough to show context, body language, the ease between them. Screenshots can be debated. People can claim photos are out of context, that angles are deceiving. Videos don't lie, unless you're a politician with a good editing team. And through all of it, standing there in the shadows recording my marriage's death certificate, I felt nothing. No rage. No heartbreak. No desire to confront them, to make a scene, to scream accusations. Just clean, cold clarity. She wasn't mine anymore. Probably hadn't been for a while. Weeks. Maybe months. I didn't confront them. Didn't make a scene. Didn't give her the satisfaction of knowing I'd discovered her secret. Didn't give him the drama of a confrontation. I watched them walk away together, down the street, laughing, completely confident that I was home and clueless. That their secret was safe. That I was the oblivious husband who believed every lie. Then I turned around and went back to my car. The drive home was quiet. Comfortably quiet. The kind of quiet that comes after a decision has been made. And somewhere between two red lights, stopped at an intersection watching other people live their normal lives, it hit me. Now I know. Not suspicion. Not paranoia. Not doubt. Not, maybe I'm imagining things. Knowledge. And once a man knows, really knows, with evidence and certainty, he stops guessing. He starts preparing. When I got home, she still wasn't there. No surprise, probably still with the girls, bravely supporting local nightlife and the economy of lies. I showered, letting the hot water wash away the evening. Put on comfortable clothes. Made tea. Sat on the couch with my laptop. I scrolled through the photos and video. Not to torture myself. Not to wallow. Just to confirm reality. To make sure I hadn't imagined it. That what I saw was real. Yep. There they were. Crystal clear. My phone now looked like a presentation titled Proof I'm Not Crazy, a visual journey. I uploaded everything to a secure cloud drive. Backed it up twice. Sent copies to my personal email. This wasn't about revenge, it was about protection. About making sure that when she inevitably tried to gaslight me, to claim I was paranoid or controlling or imagining things, I'd have proof. Around midnight, the door unlocked. She slipped in quietly, movements careful and deliberate, floating like someone who'd had an excellent night. Someone who felt alive. Someone who'd been laughing with a man who wasn't her husband. "Hey," I said from the couch. She jumped, clearly not expecting me to be awake, sitting there in the dim light. "Oh, you're not sleeping," she said casually, recovering quickly. "Hard sometimes," I replied evenly. She set her bag down carefully, adjusted her hair like she'd just stepped out of a photo shoot. "How was the movie?" I asked. Her head snapped up. "The movie?" "Yeah, the one you went to with Emily and the girls." Her face rebooted. I could actually see her brain scrambling. "Oh, right. It was good. What was it about?" "Blink. Blink. Blink. A comedy. It was funny." "What was it called?" She froze, mouth slightly open. Eyes searching for an answer that wasn't there. "I don't remember." "Impressive," I said calmly, forgetting the title immediately after watching it. "That's some selective amnesia." "Why are you interrogating me?" she snapped. "I'm not. I'm just talking. Having a conversation. Isn't that what married people do?" "You're trying to catch me in something." I tilted my head. "Should I be?" She stormed toward the bedroom, done with the conversation. "I know," I added quietly. "That's what Megan says, right? That I'm always trying to catch you." She stopped dead, hand on the doorframe. "I'm not discussing this," she hissed. "Of course," I said. "You must be tired from all that walking with the girls." She spun around. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing," I said calmly, looking directly at her. "Just conversation. You're being passive-aggressive." "And you're being aggressively aggressive," I replied. "Balance. Harmony. The natural order of things." That one landed. I could see it in her eyes. She stormed off. I stayed on the couch, not sad, not angry, just clear. Clear about what came next. The next morning, she acted strangely normal. Coffee brewed. Light makeup carefully applied. Minimal eye contact. Classic post-lie recovery mode. Pretending everything was fine while carefully avoiding any topic that might lead to questions. As she put on her shoes to leave for brunch, probably with her mystery man, possibly with actual friends who knew anymore, I said, "Oh, by the way." She froze, hand on the doorknob. "Who's the guy?" Her entire body stiffened. Shoulders locked. Breathing stopped. "What guy?" "The one you were with last night. Tall. Well-dressed. Seemed very friendly." Her eyes widened, then narrowed. Denial mode fully engaged. "You're insane." "Maybe," I said conversationally. "But my camera isn't. Technology is remarkably sane. Very objective. Excellent memory." Silence. Complete silence. For the first time in weeks, maybe months, she had no script. No prepared response. No dismissive comeback. "I hope you enjoy brunch," I added. She left like someone escaping before the timer hit 0. Before the bomb went off. Before everything exploded. While she was out pretending to eat avocado toast and sip mimosas with whoever was willing to continue the charade, I organized everything. Photos. Screenshots. Bank charges. Uber rides. Timestamps. Locations. Text messages. The progression of lies. The evolution of excuses. I created a document. Chronological. Detailed. Clinical. Dated every observation going back 3 months, starting from the first late night, the first traffic excuse, the first time she said, "I don't answer to you." It looked less like a marriage and more like a financial audit, a federal investigation, a prosecutor's case file, because that's what it had become. I printed everything, made copies, organized them in a folder, the kind lawyers use, professional and impersonal. Then I made a phone call I never thought I'd make. "I need to speak with a divorce attorney." The word felt strange in my mouth. Foreign. Final. At 2 p.m., while I was on hold with the law firm, she texted, "Please don't start drama today." I laughed, actually laughed out loud in our empty house, the sound echoing off walls that suddenly felt less like home and more like a way station. I replied, "Don't worry. I'm not starting anything." Because I wasn't. I was finishing it. The divorce papers were filed on Wednesday. The attorney said she'd be served within the week. At home, life continued in its strange, hollow normalcy. She came and went. I worked. We occupied the same space like roommates who'd stopped speaking years ago. On Thursday night, she was getting ready for another outing. Same routine. Same perfume. Same carefully constructed lies. "Going out?" I asked from the couch. "Yeah." No elaboration. No fake excuse. We were past that now. "Have fun," I said. She paused, surprised by my tone. No sarcasm. No edge. Just indifference. She left, and I felt nothing. No anger. No jealousy. No hurt. Just the quiet certainty that soon, this would all be over. Friday afternoon, 3:47 p.m. I was working from home when I heard her car pull into the driveway early. Unusual. She typically stayed out as long as possible these days. The door opened. Then silence. Then footsteps. Fast. Purposeful. She appeared in the doorway of my office, holding papers. Her face was pale. Hands shaking. What is this? Her voice cracked on the last word. I looked up calmly from my laptop. Divorce papers. I thought that was fairly self-explanatory. You're divorcing me? Yes. Just like that? Without even talking to me? I closed my laptop slowly, deliberately. Gave her my full attention. Without talking? We haven't had a real conversation in 3 months. Every time I tried, you told me I was controlling, paranoid, exhausting. You said you didn't answer to me. Remember? I didn't mean. You did. You meant every word. I stood up, walked to my filing cabinet, pulled out a folder. Would you like to see the evidence? Photos from last Thursday? The bank statements? Uber receipts to addresses that definitely weren't Emily's house. She had no answer. The papers are filed, I continued. My attorney says if you agree to terms, this can be done in 60 days. We split assets 50-50. Clean break. You can have the house if you want it. I'll find an apartment. Or we sell it and split the proceeds. Your choice. She moved out that weekend. Packed quickly, efficiently, like she'd been planning it already. Maybe she had. Maybe she was relieved I'd finally pulled the trigger. She didn't contest the divorce. Signed everything within 2 weeks. The marriage ended not with drama, not with fights, not with some Netflix-worthy twist. It ended with signatures on paper and the quiet realization that some things can't be saved. And shouldn't be. I'm okay with that now. More than okay. I'm free. Thank you for watching the video to the end. YouTube may no longer suggest my channel to you, so subscribe to it to receive new interesting stories. You will also help the channel grow and improve the quality of its content. A playlist with other interesting stories that you can listen to is now displayed on the screen. You can also write in the comments what stories you would like to see on the channel.